So what we have here is an orb with a cutout in it, and it's firing energy. Now, um, what we have observed in the effect is there are two effects within the orb bar wave that you can expect. One is a pairing of particle, and again that links to string theory as the paired particle or the entangled particle. And what is the slinky effect, which is uh, a type of extension of a tube. Uh, and I would suggest that this glyph is describing not the at the back, the rear photograph, that is the extending tube, whereas the front image is the paired particle. And somewhere there is also a third process, which this could be, which is an orb within an orb. That's part of the biological processes. But I think further investigation and study of that and measurement of that on the ground would be necessary before anyone can be certain. Sorry about the coughing. Again, the orb with the hole. And just another one. Now, this is, I've been closest because people say, oh, well, the orbs. We have orbs, so we've done a number of control experiments or tests. So we have orbs that will be in front of objects and behind them. We have orbs that will reflect their image into mirrors. We've shot with two cameras so that it can't possibly be dust in front of the lens because the lens is a separate. So it's just an orb with a hole in it, but it's behind my hand, and that reference of this energy attaching to the hand. Ancient prana was, viewed somewhat as a circular ball, which it attached to the hand or entered into the palms of the hand. It was charged one way if it went into the left or right hand. So when I started the research, I wasn't really interested in mythology whatsoever. After finishing the book, and I had a look at science, and I was ripping into science, just having a look why, I'd proved to myself that this was a process. And of course, it led me to the serpent of creation, and all sorts of stuff. And the serpent of creation is string theory. They had it right all the time, So on this site, it's a absolutely fascinating site. What I have here is showing two of a pair of paired particles of entanglement that I believe show the entanglement process. I have videos of certainly of how these divide from the bar state, and what we have on the floor are two pairs of orbs. So it's the entanglement or the entangled particle. Obviously, if science engaged with it, string theorists need to get rid of their ideas of gravity and the linear mechanistic model of the universe before they could even comprehend or begin to understand what this is. And they're not going to be coming on board until this is seen in the sky en masse. And of course, the controlling elite want a world army and a world government, and they'll use this as Ronald Reagan suggested, to unify all our armies, or triad. They probably actually know about this anyway. So what we have is, let's take the bottom image, the slinky effect. The bottom two orbs now look to me as though they are part of that expansion of the, what I would class, the wave or the slinky effect. And you've got the three orbs together. So these, the one becoming two at the base. And what I've enclosed in a little black box, and the image above it is of a megalithic site. And what I've enclosed is the grouping of three, and this grouping of three will take us to the string theory mathematics, although I've never had that confirmed. So the grouping of three orbs together. So that's on a megalithic site. The image above the slinky effect has got a strand coming out of it, and what you've got is the orb, white orb with a strand pushing out of it. So this site this is just an incredible sight to me, because I'm looking at it, and I'm looking even now when I'm looking at it, it's beyond me. I'm just looking at it thinking, well, all these years of trying to comprehend it, I should have just come here and had a look at it, and I would have saved me all the bloody sleepless nights and bloody hours and hours of collation and analyzation, and the videos that we had, the videos that we recorded in the field of the bars dividing and understanding what was going on. I mean, I should have just come here. So there's an orb within an orb, and what you've got is there's a little collage of the orb within orb pin. Then you've got an orb with a orb breaking out of the surface of it, or coming into the surface of it, and you've got a cell being fertilized. The other image, the smaller one, is the orb, or the V shape rather than the hook web orb. The V shape of the orb, and in the black box underneath it, you've got your V shape orb. Now this is the way that. So what we're looking at is probably a site where they're describing the biology of the universe. I defy anybody else to explain what it is. Or they just say, oh, it's ritual. I can make some predictions in this, and you'll find it. These are interesting. What you've got is the cut mark. So you've got an orb with a band around the outside of it. You've got an orb with strand of orbs coming out of it. What I've done is Northumberland, Scandinavian rock art. The rock art, there are two methods of recording this rock art. The one is they spray water on it and photograph it, or shed light onto it, and the other way is the Scandinavian way, which is a better way, and it's more costly to do it this way. Is they hand paint these with biodegradable paint, probably a vegetable paint, photograph them and wash them off, so you get a better rendition and a clearer image. That so people have written to me on many occasions and said, those aren't pieces of rock art, they're too new, they're not 4,000 years ago. Well, the paint on them is not 4,000 years, but the actual hole that they're painting is, it's washed off. It's to preserve it. And I think the Scandinavian Rock Art Society had done an excellent job in preserving our heritage, and I think that anyone looking to fund such an organisation, there is a donations page to them, and I think it's essential, perhaps the Saudi royal family would visit them and donate some of their money to them, so that they can gain more understanding of their own sites. It would be beneficial to them, I would have thought. Not unless they don't care about their history. I'm not suggesting they don't or they do. It would be a good idea. Anyway, inside the bottom line alignment is what I've drawn from the internal of the orb. So we got the three standard orbs again today, and again in this a geometric pattern, and it ties into another piece of rock art with the four orbs in the center and whatever. But so they're looking the same. There are differences. I'm obviously not going to be able to record everything exactly the same, but you can begin to see the patterns, and certainly my understanding of this is. So I showed an aerial view of this site. It's absolutely fascinating site. I don't know if the coordinates are on the bottom of the video, so you can see that. And then we'll move on. So this is again a 27-mile wide area. There, an orb with a strand. I'll talk about this for a little bit. What we got is again rock art. This is a fiberglass cast of rock art in Northumberland again. What we got is an orb with a hole in it, which gives you the hole in the rock art and the bar that it's forming, or web that it's forming from. You got the earring orb, as we call them, not the hook web orb. The hook web orb is firing out its strand with the hook and the web attached to it. The one below it is the conversion of the orb into the bar, and what we have above it is the biologic. This is under a microscope. So now we got Bronze Age men with microscopes and digital cameras, if you were. Because to me, this is exactly what you would expect. The strands fire out of cells prior to division. And so we have the map. This area is mapping the biology of the universe. I mean, this should be, a World Heritage Site. It should be thousands of tourists, and it should be controlled and managed. I mean, this is a wonder of the world, and it's a wonder. The wonder of the world is how we got so lost. That the cradle of. Perhaps we've just gone through a process of degeneration. The Yugas suggest that is what happens when the magnetic field declines, and I would be in agreement with that. Technology, there's no doubt that technology has replaced what we once knew. We knew this, inside ourselves. So we got the orbs with the tongues. I come across that on other sites. So what you've got is, I'll try and describe it now. Is you've got like a round arrowhead in effect. So there's a shaft or a tongue which pokes out. It's got a dot in it, and you've got a half moon effect, and you've got these on other sites as well. So the orb with the tongue, with a hole in it, and they were drawing these on the floor. Again, after 20 years, it's still early days as to why this occurs. It's part of the delivery of energy. Slinky again, or the slinky effect, where the orbs divide. The one becomes two, and then they break apart and become entangled.